Hi, and welcome back to another NFXL podcast. As promised, this is part two of my week 13. Are we on? Yeah, I think we're on week 13. You lose track, don't you? Just double checking that. Yeah, week 13, Thanksgiving's week. Well, I went 0 for 4 on Thanksgiving and Friday. So after a 13 out of 14 last week, yin and yang is coming to work. But let's see if I can bounce back on Sunday. So let's start with the San Francisco 49ers at the Cleveland Browns. The 49ers will look at this game as a good opportunity to get one of the two wins that will all but two or three wins that will all but ensure their postseason participation. The Browns will look to build on a win last week, and hope Shedeur Sanders shows signs he can answer their quarterback problem. But the main point of interest for the Browns now is not just Sanders, but whether Myles Garrett can break the all-time NFL season sack record. He needs 5 more to beat the official record and 6 to beat the unofficial one set before sacks were officially counted. The Browns' defense ranks 9th against the pass and 7th against the run. Clearly their strength, as the offense isn't, as they rank a lowly 31st for pass offense and 24th for run offense. And are likely to be without Jerome Ford here. The 49ers have relied on their passing game offensively, where they rank 5th in the league, whereas they rank 22nd for the run offense. On D, they rank 8th against the run, but 27th against the pass. So again, there's a clear differential as to what their strengths and weaknesses are. So for the Browns to put points on the board against the 49ers, Sanders and the passing game look to be their better option by far. The 49ers may also lean on their passing game again here. So how well their own line protects Brock Purdy from Myles Garrett and the rest of his buddies could be key in this game. Given the need for Purdy to get the ball out quickly, Christian McCaffrey and George Kittle, the usual suspects, will once again need to deliver this win for San Fran. With the 49ers not possessing much of a pass rush or getting many picks this season, Sanders will likely get time to find his targets, and the tight end duo of Harold Fanning and David Njoku, if he plays, will need to come up big for the Browns to win here. But I see the 49ers have been able to do just about enough to win this one. I'm taking them to win this by 23-20. Onto the Jacksonville Jaguars at the Tennessee Titans. Even more than for the 49ers, this is a prime opportunity for the Jags to get one of the two wins they need to make the postseason against the worst team in the league, the Titans, and in doing so, keep the pressure on the Colts in the race for the AFC South title. The Titans are bad at everything except pass defense, where they are mid-ranked in the league. The Jags' strengths are for and against the run, where they rank 7th for the run and 3rd against it. So look for Travis Etienne and Basil Tutin to run all over the Titans here, and if Cam Ward is forced to press to play catch-up, the Jags' defense ranks 2nd in the league for picking off passes. The only chink of light I can see for the Titans is that the Jags are not great against opposing tight ends. So again, Chig Okonkwo is questionable for this game, but if he plays, him and Gunnar Helm could do well here. But surely the Jags win this one and fairly easily. I've got the Jags to win it by 27-20. And that brings us on to the other teams in that same Jags division, Houston Texans at Indianapolis Colts. And if the Jags do win in Tennessee, the cost of losing this game for both teams could be significant. A Colts loss could see them, the Jags and the Texans, all within one game of each other in the AFC South. A Texans loss would see them fall out of the race for that title and also lose vital ground in the wild card race, although losses for the Ravens and who else lost? Yeah, losses for the Ravens and the Thanksgiving results helped them out a bit. The Colts do not have any great weaknesses. They rank 2nd in the league for run offense, 9th for run defense, 10th for pass offense, and 14th for pass defense. The Texans' offense is an average at best unit, ranking 16th for pass offense and just 25th when running the ball. So to score in this game, the best matchup for them is their pass offense versus the Colts' pass defense. But it is the Texans' D that is their route to wins. This great defense ranks 3rd against the pass and 5th against the run, despite being given a heavy workload by their offense. Nico Collins and Dalton Schultz will be key for CJ Stroud on his return from injury, whilst once again the Colts will need a big game from Jonathan Taylor to win this one, and for Daniel Jones with his fractured fibula to avoid making bad throws too. But another issue for the Colts here will be their mentality. A few weeks back, they looked like a team full of belief, but now they their lead in this division has shrunk to one game. So, do they still have the confidence to overcome this Texans team? Do they still have the self belief? That's a question they've got to answer. Red zone inefficiency has been a huge issue for the Texans, though. They have attempted twice as many field goals as they have extra points, whereas the Colts have attempted more extra points than field goals. So, who's more? The Colts are just far more efficient in the red zone. They've got illness issue concerns over Tyler Warren, which might hurt them in that regard, but I still expect him to play. And that is why I'm taking the Colts to pull off a much needed win here, the red zone efficiency. I'm taking the Colts to win this by 23-19. Right, New Orleans Saints at Miami Dolphins. The Saints season is over and the Dolphins is hanging by a thread that will snap if they lose this one. But they should have few problems here against a bad Saints team whose best area is run defence. And they only rank 16th for that. As neither team are likely to make the postseason, the Dolphins have really got a uphill battle. I will keep this brief as the Dolphins win this one, but not by a wide margin. I've got them to win this by 23-17. So on to the Atlanta Falcons at the New York Jets. A similar game here in that the Jets season is over. The Falcons cling to hopes of making the postseason by winning the NFC South. But to make up lost ground there, they cannot afford to lose this game. The Jets can run the ball and are not bad against the pass. The Falcons are not great against the run, but that is more in terms of allowing yardage and touchdowns. Excuse me. On offense, they have a balanced unit which generally rely on the running game to get into the end zone, particularly recently with Tyler Algier. And Algier may be the one to get the Falcons over the line, figuratively and literally, as the Jets have allowed 10 touchdowns to running backs on the ground this season. Breece Hall for the Jets and Bijan Robinson for the Falcons may rack up the yardage on the ground, but have only scored 2 and 4 touchdowns respectively this season, whereas Algier has 7 on his own. An end result of all of this is the Falcons win 24-19. Right, Arizona Cardinals at Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Cardinals season was pretty much ended by their Week 12 defeat. The Bucs season is spiraling downwards as the injury bug continues to bite them hard. They now hold the narrowest of leads in the NFC South and risk losing that and a potential playoff spot if they lose again here. Excuse me. The Bucs defense is struggling and ranks 24th in the league. They rank 8th for yards conceded on the ground, but are lowly 22nd in conceding rushing touchdowns. On offense, they rank 14th for passing and 18th on the ground, but that ranking has been hurt badly by the absence of Bucky Irving, and he's likely to be back for this game. Their O-line is getting healthier too. Hassan Reddick is probably back from injury as well, which will help on the defensive side. And it looks like Baker Mayfield is going to be cleared to play. Plus, Chris Godwin will be getting more and more up to speed. So there is some positive news on the health front for the Bucs this week. So we could see more of the early season Bucs here than the one that has struggled against good opposition whilst injury blighted recently. The Cardinals could look like they're going to get Marvin Harrison Jr. back this week, but they are depleted at running back, although Bam Knight looks like he's going to play. But their O-line is also depleted. So pass protection and from the patched up O-line will be key for them to move the ball on offense here. Both teams should have joy passing the ball in this game. Trey McBride will feature and Michael Wilson could continue his good run against for the Cardinals. Obviously, Marvin Harrison Jr. will see how healthy he is coming back from an appendectomy. Whilst Emeka Egbuka and Chris Godwin may do well for the Bucs, as Cade Otton could do at tight end as well. I see the Bucs with Irving back running the ball better than the Cardinals here, and that should be enough to get the win they so badly need. But it will be close. 27-23, I've got it for the Bucs. Los Angeles Rams at Carolina Panthers. The Panthers need a win here to at least keep the pressure on the Bucs and maybe even take over top spot in the NFC South if the Bucs slip up. But to get that win, they will have to take down the best team in the NFL right now. Maybe the Cowboys would argue with that after Thursday. The rampant Rams. The Panthers are a solid all-round team, but are stronger running the ball on offense and defending the pass rather than the run. But that pass defense will certainly be tested by Matt Stafford and his dynamic passing offense. And the Rams match up well in terms of their run defense as they are ranked second for conceding rushing touchdowns this season. The Panthers' pass defense is decent, but not so good against tight ends. So the relatively unheralded trio of Colby Parkinson, Davis Allen, and Terence Ferguson, who have 7 touchdowns between them this season, could feature here too. And Kyron Williams and Blake Corum might do well against the Panthers team that has allowed the 6th highest yardage to opposing running backs this season. And as mentioned earlier, the Rams have been strong against running backs, allowing just 2 rushing and 1 receiving touchdown to opposing running backs this season. In summary, then, the Rams are the best team in football right now, and the Panthers are a mid-ranked team. Plus, the matchups between the two look really nice for the Rams, who I see winning this with room to spare by 27-17. So that wraps up my early preview. I'll go away and work on the late games now and come back to that hopefully early evening. See you soon.